Hey guys, we're going to be doing a 0 to hero here, starting as the rogue. Well, we're not quite level 1, we are level 3, but we're going to be coming in with that base kit. The first perk we're going to be running is Poisoned Weapon. Along with that, we're going to be running Rupture and Hide. Got to do a really fast intro because the solos timer is about to go from Crypts, so let's get into it. Okay, hey there guys, we are in first rogue 0 to hero Highroller. This is Highroller straight off the bat. With the way the game currently is, I don't really feel like there's too much of a point of actually going into low roller. The loot is just so much better in high roller that, like, to the point where even if you are base kit, I don't think it's worth going into low roller at the moment. Just come straight high roller, especially on Crypts. So straight up as well, in the lobby, I saw only a single other person. So I think this is going to be pretty much only PvE in this game, which suits us quite well, because we're base kit rogue. We're probably not going to be able to beat too many people, especially with having only one perk. We, you know, maybe if we get the drop on a wizard or a ranger, we might be able to kill them, but like any fighters or things like that, we're just going to have to kite them for ages, and granted we can, but we don't like those straight up one-on-one fights. And also I hate dealing with spider pots as a rogue. So first thing we did is dropped our Castellan Dagger. Now a lot of the really good rogues I see actually keep the Castellan Dagger and use that instead of the Rondel. However, I really dislike the attack pattern for the Castellan, so I prefer to use the Rondel, so that's what we're going to be doing here. Rogue is, I'm not the best rogue as well, that's full disclosure. This is one of my lesser played classes. Granted, I have still played this up to level like 20 a few times, but it's definitely not one of my main classes that I play quite a lot, like, you know, fighter, wizard. I guess at barbarian at this point, I've kind of played like a huge amount as well. These mages are quite annoying. Oh my Jesus, okay. Luckily we've got a health shrine, so we're not too bad. Let's try and get him to aim at the wall, so hopefully he can kill himself with his own fire. Okay, perfect. Let's take this health shrine now. Base kit rogue. I say, if you've watched some of my videos before, I tend to judge classes or give a statement on whether classes are good in PvP or PvE. Did I just hear a skeleton attack? I thought I just heard a skeleton attack, which means that the single other player in the lobby is somewhere close to us. But I'm not 100% sure about that. So anyway, as I was saying, I would say, let's actually just take all of this for now, because we can sell it for a little bit of money if we can't find anything better. I would say Rogue is one of the classes that suffers from being in low tier gear probably the most. Like, it does really crazy damage when it's really high geared. However, at low tier... Oh, ooh, okay, I thought we were going to get hit there. This class is probably one of the lower damage classes, and it has very low survivability. So, yeah. Straight up, until you get to level 15, especially because of... The perks for Rogue are really strong. So not having the perks is quite underwhelming, and you're basically just playing, you know, a significantly... You're not even really playing a rogue until you have, like, 3 perks, I'd say. Which is kind of a bit of a problem. I wish they would work on the perk balance a little bit more, because some classes, you know, you get, like, 2 perks, and they don't really have any other good perks. The one that... Oh, wow. Green Rapier is a really nice find. One of the ones that comes to mind is Fighter. While it has a lot of perks that are kind of okay, it doesn't really have any perks that are, like, really good. Meanwhile, Rogue has, like, just tons of utility bonuses or damage bonuses, and you really can... The difference between a level 1 Rogue and a level 15 Rogue is probably one of the highest in the game. Another one that comes to mind is the Warlock. The Warlock has a few good perks, but a few of them are also, like, really lackluster and kind of underwhelming. So anyway, what we're going to be trying to do is just grab some starting gold, maybe a few decent pieces. A rapier is probably, like, the best PvE weapon for Rogue. Previously, I would have said, honestly, the short sword was one of the best weapons for Rogue, but it did get nerfed, I believe, in the most recent hotfix. I'm not sure how much they nerfed it. It still might be good, but it also might have got nerfed so much that it's no longer one of the better tier ones. So we'll have to try and see. But I was under the impression that the short sword was quite underrated for a while, and then I believe it kind of became the meta for rogues specifically. Okay, we will take the Shadow Hood. 1 extra strength is nice. By the way, we're also playing as an orc here, so we'll lose 1 agility, so we're going to be slightly slower than the average rogue. But we do have a little bit of extra strength, so we'll have a tiny bit more HP and a bit more damage. But that's just a little min-max thing. If you don't have the blue shards to unlock orc, don't worry about it. It's really not a big deal at all. So if you're unaware, on Crypts there's this nice little hidden area, which we'll soon be going to. Perfect, we found 2 lockpicks as well. Over here, there's this book which you can activate, and it opens up this secret room in here. This thing has pretty good loot. There's a raw coffin down there, which is, like, really solid. You do have to be careful of these, things. If you're not careful, you will take quite a lot of damage from these. They're kind of awkward to dodge sometimes, but sometimes, like that, you can succeed, and it's not that big of a deal. What you're going to do is throw your torch, wait until... Oh, I went a little bit too early there. What you do is you wait until it's about to go down, and then start moving across. But this is the royal coffin that I was talking about. This thing generally has really good loot. Yeah, you know, as you can see, a fair few blues. Let's drop this per piece. This thing's going to be pretty terrible. Let's try and make space for this... Let's just drop some of these greens. I'd rather have green sellables than green items, just for... I suppose it's mainly for AP, but we don't particularly care about the AP we're going to be getting here. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Gotta be careful for the mimics. They're kind of annoying to deal with sometimes, especially because it's hard to tell if they're elite. Like, if you notice, if you know the model of a normal mimic, this one is a little bit more red in the tongue and in the, like, mouth area of the mimic, which means it's an elite and it attacks faster and has more health. So, you can get caught up with the, animations if you can't quite tell the difference. Okay, blue magic stuff, we'll take that. Quite a bit of money there. We actually already have quite a few blues, so extracting soon wouldn't be too bad of an idea, just so we can get some starter money. Hopefully also get level 5. That's how you properly do the little trick to get over those spike things. There might also be a more efficient way in this. You can probably just jump from this corner or something, but I'm not 100% sure. I personally wouldn't risk it. Might as well just do that trick. It's good to learn that trick anyway, because you can use that trick in, you know, basically every single area that there are spike traps. Well, sometimes you can't jump around them or avoid them or jump over, stuff like that. So in here, this is also a pretty good room as well. There's quite a few chests. There are quite a few skeletons and also a skeleton champion spawns up here. You used to be able to cheese this really easily. I think you still can cheese this. It's just a little bit more difficult than it used to be. So quickly, let's take those. Right. He's coming. We're not going to panic too much. We're just going to come over here. And we're going to cheese him up here. It's going to take us quite a while to kill this guy. And he can still hit you here. You're not invincible. But having a long-range weapon, like the rapier, long-range weapon, long-range melee weapon, you know. All you have to do is every time you see his attacks coming in, try and jump and he shouldn't hit you. I think it's mainly the shield bash that catches you. I don't think his sword attacks really tend to have the, like, actual animation to hit you. This is where poisoned weapon really comes in handy for the PvE. This thing has a huge amount of hit points. And that dot just constantly being fully stacked, ticking, 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 does a decent amount of damage. It's not going to do anywhere near as much damage as our rapier itself, but you can't really expect it to, right? It's just 1 perk, which is not honestly that good of a perk. Okay, Shattered Cloak. Pretty good. 3 strength. We'll definitely take those. Quite a nice little bonus. I don't like those old shoes, although we will pick them up to sell them. But I'd rather have the Vigor Boots equipped so we have a bit more max health. We will take the Health Shrine as well. Interaction speeds for the Rogue. Magical interaction speed isn't that bad, but regular interaction speed I think is the fastest in the game, or if not, it might be second by default to Ranger. I'm not actually sure which one is faster, but either way, those are the 2, like, fastest opening doors and looting chests classes. So you want to try and use that to your advantage, and while it is a bit awkward sometimes, that of course can be used as a combat stat. You use that to kite people. Okay, well, there's a red portal in here, which we probably... I mean, I guess we could go to hell. It's probably going to be a bit awkward, but we could probably manage it. We don't have too many meds is the issue though, so maybe it would be smarter to just get a fast extract. Try and get some gear upgrades. Ooh. Okay, those are really good. Let's take those, definitely. More lockpicks as well. Lovely. Those agility boots we'll take as well instead of... Now, let's just do a little bit of inventory management here. Quite a good amount of gold. Now, I don't think this is really normal to have a lobby with only a single other player in it. However, it is currently Boxing Day at about midday, so... It's probably why there's not too many people playing right now. Right, let's go quickly take a look. We're going to look for an escape plan. I don't think it's really a wise decision to go to hell on our first one. We at least need to buy more meds before we do that, in my opinion. However, if you're more... God, how many downpours spawn? That's crazy. That's like 12 or something we've seen now. There is also a... Okay, perfect. Let's just take this and get out of here. There is also a some static extracts on the map, as you can see in the bottom right. There's a blue one in like top left corner and that red one down just south. So, worst case scenario, we could go and take those. The other player's probably either dead or already escaped at this point, so let's get out of here. Okay, perfect. So we now are level 6, so we get access to our second perk. We're also going to probably sell most things in our inventory, and well, we'll keep the things that I believe are probably quest items at some point. I forgot to accept quests, but honestly, we probably won't be progressing them on the rogue. I don't know how much I intend to play. I guess it depends how much people enjoy it and how much people want to see. So while we did start with a little bit of gold, I'll try and remember that we started with 133, so I'll try not to overspend. However, maybe I should have just deleted that, so now I don't have to try and remember it. From our sellables, we got the amount of gold in our inventory, which is 345, I believe. Not sure if my maths is fully correct, but I believe it's that. Alright, I've moved everything we had before this run down to the bottom of our stash. Aside from that now, it should be pretty easy to separate the things. Right, so that's the total amount of gold we've found. Of course, we had to spend a decent amount to buy all these coin purses, but that's okay. We'll actually bring in this coin purse just to have one empty one. We'll bring in these bandages, although actually, I don't like bringing in too many different stacks of bandages, so what we will do is put the blue away and put the white away, and then we'll grab some more grey ones from the surgeon, and also from the... We'll also grab 3 potions of healing from the alchemist. Although we will actually get a bit more. We'll sell these traps disarming kits. That gave us an extra 21 gold. Now, normally for this series, I bring in everything we get as we get it. So, of course, you know, if you have better gear, it's easier to get better gear generally. But because most of our gear is rather low tier, I'm going to be putting this cape away, because this is a pretty solid cape, and people play and act differently if you are wearing a cape. So I think it's actually a strength for us to just put this away and save this for later. We will, however, be keeping these boots. Granted, these are pretty good boots. Like, these are actually really solid. However, I don't believe there's much of a difference on our character visually if we have these or if we don't. While a cloak is always something which makes you look quite strong, even if you're in, you know, an early base kit, you just randomly found a cloak. Especially with rogue, it can be a bit deceptive, the look sometimes. And we will also store the surgical kit, because we're probably not going to need that. Looks like we're going to ruins, so I'll see you guys in the next game. Okay guys, hello, welcome to the first Ruins Highroller. This is our second game. I just noticed a big mistake that I did actually whilst I was loading in. I forgot to equip another perk. We're level 6, only using 1 perk. Unfortunate, but I guess we'll just play with a little bit more of a disadvantage. I guess we did start at level 3, so this can kind of, you know... Ooh, gotta be careful with these things. It's really easy to take quite a lot of damage if you're not careful in this room. However, this is one of the best places to go for loot if you get this spawn. We can take a little bit of damage. We have a few meds. We don't have to worry too much about taking some. We just don't want to take a huge amount, you know, if we can avoid it. There are many more players in this run. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not sure whether people just don't really like playing solo crypts, or what exactly. I've said this many times now, but the tip with these skeleton swordsmen, if they attack from your left side first, it's always going to be a double hit. So they'll swing and then swing again, and you can always dodge their attacks by crouching and looking down. It also works with up, but down's generally more, what people prefer to do. Okay, purple hand crossbow. That's be pretty good money. Again, raw coffins, really good loot. Get some of the highest tier loot from these in the game. So when you spawn this part of the map on ruins, generally you want to drop down here and just grab whatever you can from down here. There's also a lion's head or golden chest that spawns as well. So we'll go and take that in a sec. I can't actually see this, so whatever. Don't worry too much about the pots. You should destroy them always for XP at the very least. Of course, they can also drop loot as well, but generally it's pretty low tier loot, so you don't really care about it too much unless you have basically nothing better on you. Do also remember to loot the death skulls as well, because sometimes you can get pretty solid stuff. That's an okay monkey pendant. However, they also drop quite a lot of throwables. So whether this is throwing knives or Francisca axes. Yeah, look, Franciscas. We're not going to bother taking Franciscas. Another necklace of peace. Not that amazing for us, but alright. Now, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to take quite a lot of zone damage to actually stay down here. So, okay, it's a golden chest, so we're not going to worry about that anyway. Golden chests are good, but I didn't bring any of the lockpicks that we got in the previous run, so it's going to be kind of annoying to try and deal with that. I'm going to have to activate this lever, go through. There's a bunch of skeleton spawns right here. However, I'd like to get inside the zone if we can, before we actually take too much damage. We don't want to have to med more than we already do have to. Attack from the right, so it's not going to be a double swing. He's just going to swing once. This is going to be a double... Okay, I think he died before he got the double swing off, but... They are 100% consistent in that. If they attack from that side, it will always be a double attack. If they attack from the other side, it will never be a double attack. Dog in here, these dogs do quite a lot of damage, especially the elite variants, but you can choose them quite easily. You also just side strafe and you can dodge most of the attacks pretty easily as well. They die quite fast anyway, so they're not too big of a threat. We will definitely take those upgrades. But my recommendation, I've probably already said something like this before, but actually, I don't think the hunting tracks actually sell for very much at all. Let's actually take those bolts, since we do have this hand crossbow. We could use it if we equip the perk. It's kind of a lot like that with Rogue, but anyway, as I was saying, my recommendation for Rogue is you do not do well in fights where you're just standing up one-on-one with the other class. Most classes are probably going to beat you if you just try and fight honorably, you know, one-to-one, no advantage. Rogue's not meant to do that, you know? Rogue is meant to get these little advantages, capitalize on people's mistakes, and use their speed to their advantage. This includes kiting people and playing around cooldowns, right? Like, if a barbarian pops their rage, they're faster, they do more damage, they have more health. You don't want to fight them with that. All you want to do is you want to kite them around and keep prodding them with, ideally, your rapier with your Ruptron, and just letting your dots tick, wear them out like that. Fighting them when you're strong and they're not. But, granted, this is something where this only really matters when you're lower to medium gear. When you're high gear, Rogue's DPS is kind of really good, so you can kind of just get in their face and stat check people. As long as they're not, like, equally geared to you. As long as you have a gear advantage, you will do, like, huge DPS. But, let's be honest, it's like that with any class in the game. It's just that Rogue, to do these stat checking things, needs the actual stats from gear. Somehow Rogue's perks have, like, a lot of utility. Okay. Here's someone fighting a skeleton over there. Now, normally I would be down to go and fight, but look at the zone position. If we fight here, we're going to be sprinting to try and get inside of the zone either during the fight or after the fight, and we're probably not going to be able to get much loot done. So what we're going to do is just rotate early so we're not in that bad position. Because then, even if we win the fight, even if we come up with full health, then it could be pretty easily that we're getting held between mobs and players inside the zone waiting for the circle, and we're just taking constant damage. It's just awkward, stressful positions that you don't really want to put yourselves in if you can avoid it. Rapier is a really nice find though. It's really good that we found such a, it's a decent rapier. It's not amazing, it's green, right? And with a basically useless. Actually, I think this is worse than useless. This is actually negative. Unless they've fixed it now, debuff duration bonus actually affects debuffs on yourself and not on enemies. So all it means is like you get slowed for longer. Dots last longer, but it has to be... Okay. Blue portal spawned right on top of us. Now it would be a really rogue tactic to camp this, but I don't think we're going to be doing that. We're just going to be getting some money that we can. Okay, those are actually really good. Now the interesting thing as well I want to quickly note is we have some gear here that has like additional magical damage and stuff. So like magical pen there. What was the other one? Oh, on these gloves, right. Magical power. It's not entirely useless as long as you take the poisoned weapon perk, because this dot is magical damage. So you can actually scale that using will, magical power, additional magical damage. However, it does have like a reduced effectiveness compared to most things. So let's actually equip those as well and just drop those. One more inventory space so we can bring out more money as well. Ideally, all we're looking for really is just some slight upgrades. Obviously, someone's been here before. The skeletons are dead. There's some loot on the floor that we didn't drop. Let's take a quick peek, okay? There's a skeleton over there. I think I saw movement near these rocks. So that was probably the player in there. Let's take a look in this chest, see if we can get anything. Potion of healing, alright. Also a pretty good start. Here you have to be careful for the boss. Okay, the cockatrice is already dead. It can be also a wraith as well, which I think you can cheese it relatively easy by jumping onto this brazier thing, whatever this is. You might have to jump sometimes when it attacks, but it's relatively easy to cheese. It just takes a little while, 'cause that big health pool. Really quiet run at the moment. Maybe most people are already dead or have already extracted. Explosive bottle just on the floor, we'll take that. Throwables are always nice as rogue. You're faster than basically every other class if you just want to run away. So you can use that to your advantage, spamming out throwables, throwing knives, whatever you want. Now we don't have any real way of... I heard someone just loot. Okay, let's do some running. But this is what I say, right? This is what Rogue wants to do. Use that speed to your advantage and just space people, get hits off when they can't. This is what Rogue is good at. This guy had Francisca's though, so the spacing is a bit more difficult because we can't just sit real far back because he'll just spam us with Francisca's. But of course we also don't want to get in his face because he will destroy us with that big weapon. Right, let's pop a bandage. I don't like this position because people could really come from anywhere. Let's just grab what we can off this guy, and we have time to go back, med up, and head outside the zone from the other angle. Let's take whatever good pieces he's got. Oh wow, he had some insane money on him. Let's drop these, take that, take that. Just upgrade whatever pieces we can, really. Silver coins can go, that can go. Let's pick up that. And we'll probably be heading out now. Yeah. There are some other pretty decent pieces, but let's get out of here now. Hopefully no one's taken this portal behind us that was... I said that we could camp if we wanted to. I forgot I don't have the perk to actually... Oh, did someone take it? Someone did take it. Oh, no, no, no. It's just so dark that I couldn't see it until I got really close. Well, I'll take a look at this. Okay, the story is not that amazing, but it's okay. It's better than nothing, right? So, we're actually the last person alive in here. 536 AP. Mostly from treasure. That guy had really high tier treasure. I'm not sure if he bought in some lockpicks or something and looted some high tier chests, because that was really good. Anyway, now, right. We will actually equip our second perk now. Now, it's hard. It's a hard decision for Rogue. There are so many good options here, right? Jokester's pretty good. Granted, it's worse solo than with a team. With team giving +2 all to your entire team is pretty solid. I think we'll be taking stealth because I tried to utilize our stealth there, but out of habit, I moved as soon as we stealthed and it just broke it. So we'll probably be going with that, but there are also a few other good options. Lockpicking mastery is pretty good as well. However, it's not combat stats, right? So if you want to be fighting people, you don't want to take lockpicking mastery. Dagger mastery is okay if you're using a dagger. Back attack is pretty good as well, but generally you have to play a bit ratty. Ambush as well is also pretty solid. You can then just use your hide as a damage bonus. You don't actually have to, you know, utilize it to hide. Double jump, of course, also is pretty solid. Makes you a very slippery target, especially on maps like Ruins and Crypts, because they're a bit more open than Goblin Caves. Although Goblin Caves, it's not bad either. So this is what I'm saying. There are a pretty huge amount of options for Rogue. Hand crossbow mastery, even we could get some usage out of with this hand crossbow, but like I say, what we're going to be doing is probably just saving this for now, and maybe when we have more perks, we can bring this out. So from the collector, we have 321 gold, plus another 13 actually. Alright, so we'll store some of this stuff. We'll keep the amulets. I always keep jewelry generally, even if it's not very good. It's one slot, right, for jewelry, and jewelry is not the most common thing, so I think it's okay. Alright, so we've sorted out our inventory with gold now. We've also stored the meds that we want to store, the surgical kit. We'll top up on a few more meds, and then we'll head back out. Hey guys, okay, we are back in our home territory in the Goblin Caves. Do not like this spawn. Haven't got this in actually quite a bloody while, so... oh wow, somehow that didn't hit me. Thought I was going to have to spend ages bloody killing this guy. So, unfortunately in this lobby there's quite a few Warlocks. Warlock are not a good matchup for the Rogue, and I'll tell you why that isn't after I finish killing this. Right, so Rogue is a squishy class, right? So, Rogue is probably the squishy... oh, no. Aside from Wizard, Rogue is the squishiest class in base kit. And one of the big things about Rogue is because your will, I believe? Is it will? I think it's will. It's so low. Debuff duration. I think this is how it works anyway. I'm not sure if they've changed it with the stat update. Debuffs last on you quite a while. So you're going to be taking more ticks of damage from Warlocks, Curse of Pains, and maybe Power of Sacrifices than other classes would do. Which means they just get damaged off on you, which they wouldn't get on other classes, and those classes also generally have bigger health pools than the Rogue. The Rogue has, as I say, I believe it's the second lowest. I believe Cleric and stuff actually has more still. Right, let's quickly go and deal with these spider pots. The only thing to note about debuff duration is every dot in the game currently ticks once per second. So if your debuff... okay, I thought that was a player, but it was just goblin footsteps. If your debuff duration doesn't increase it by like an entire second, it actually won't do any extra damage at all. There's a pearl necklace there, but it seems to have went into the wall, so we actually can't loot that. Oh well. Let's fill up on what we can. I mean, we could pick up the lantern. I guess we can put it in our slot. The interesting thing to note, if you have a lantern in your hand, you can't use your stealth. Skills cannot be used while using holding a luminous tool. That's... I believe that only refers to hide, which, you know, makes sense. So that's generally why if you do bring... oh, wait, we've got to go. Let's grab that bandage and head out. We've got to go quite far for the zone. Damn, I got distracted talking. Alright. Right, what was I saying? Okay, we're gonna have to get past this guy. Okay, pretty easy. Try not to take too much damage, if any at all. Normally I'd fight these things. Okay, actually, we can fight these things. We have a little bit of zone-like area here where we won't be taking damage. Only thing is, it's going to take quite a few hits out. Didn't really mean us, but maybe we will as well. God, I'm going to take quite a bit of damage here. Bloody hate the zombies with the gas clouds. Right. We're going to quickly med up. Damn, it's a shame that's the one we can't use. The Warden's outfit. There's another... okay, wow, we found just 2 pieces that Warlock couldn't use. Maybe this is why everyone's playing so much Warlock recently, Dan. I think people just enjoy Warlock, and after some of the most recent buffs, it's one of the better classes, again. For a while it was like a bit underwhelming after the Forge Mastery nerfs. But I think it's in a pretty good spot again. What we will actually do is, let's make it so we've got the explosive bottle in our first slot on that other. So let's have a quick listen out and see if we can hear anything. So far, all I'm hearing is goblins. Anything is these gas clouds give us away, because these things... Actually, no. In certain scenarios, zombies can make gas clouds where there aren't players nearby. Or not, like, really close anyway. I'm not exactly sure what causes it. I'm not sure if it's something to do with spike traps. Like, if they walk onto a trap, take damage... and then they trigger it? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but... Generally, if there's a gas cloud, there's someone close. So that door's open. Someone spawns right there, so... I guess instead of clearing this room... Wait, what's this guy doing here, huh? Okay, there must be someone on the other side of that door, because that guy is aggroed and ready. Let's check where this portal spawned and make note of it. Okay, down there. Good. That can be something we can use if we need to. Yeah, you hear that? There's a ranger on the other side of this door. Let's pop Rupture. And let's stealth. Alright, we're going to be a bit ratty here, probably. Oh, it's a fighter. Okay, yeah, we're not going to win that. Unfortunate because it's dark in here, so I didn't really utilize the movement speed advantage that I'm always talking about utilizing. I thought it was a ranger, so I would have played a bit differently in knowing that that was a fighter. I would have been a bit more patient. Let's pop all these bandages, however, we're still going to be quite low even after we've used all of the meds that we have. We did get that guy's second wind, but he's relatively low gear by the look of it. So we're not going to gain too much from even fighting him, so it could honestly be pretty wise to just leave. But I don't think we want to do that, it's a bit boring, right? I've had it sometimes where I've used stealth and the mob remains aggroed, so I'm not exactly sure why that is. Maybe it was a bug that they fixed. Just doing this so we can de-aggro this guy. I don't really want to waste time killing him and making all that audio. What I would like to do is sit down and rest and regen some of this health. This is a relatively safe place to rest. Also, in the most recent patch, they allegedly made it so you don't lose your, like, missing health when you stood up. Look, that guy re-aggroed to us. He's coming back. Yeah, okay, nice. They made it so it doesn't actually... You don't just lose that, like, recoverable health when you stand up from resting anymore. That's a really great change. I don't know why it was even like that. I guess it was to punish you from just resting whenever you have a little moment to rest, but doesn't that, like, make perfect sense of when you should rest? Especially in a game where you have the zones, so you have to constantly be moving, right? Someone's right above us. You can probably hear that audio. Heard him pull out his weapon. It sounded like it... I'm not exactly sure what weapon that was. Obviously, if you know what weapon it is, you can have an idea of what classes it can be. It's time to quick listen. I feel like he could possibly be... I thought he could potentially just be hiding around this corner waiting for us, but it doesn't look like it. Let's go take a look. This zombie was the one that he killed, right? Gotta be careful, because it could be a rogue in stealth. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure what happened, where that guy went. Throwing knives? Always want throwing knives as a rogue. They allow you to just continue kiting, get some poke damage off. Very strong. Stiletto dagger, decent. However, we'll drop this lantern and take the stiletto there. We're probably going to be looking to extract soon. However, we need to actually find where a portal is. There is also, of course, that one in the room that we came from that we can go back to if we need to. Or would like to find one in here if we can. That sounded like it was... Okay, it's actually a cross over there. I thought it was down inside this area. There's quite a lot of loot down here, which I think people get kind of annoyed when I don't go down there. The reason I don't go down there is because it takes kind of a long while to clear. Maybe you can just skip past the mobs, but... You go down there and you're spawning in like 6 skeletons. I think we're now... Yeah, we're now fully alone. I believe so. Let's just head out. I guess if we're min-maxing, we'd loot, like, you know, whatever we could before we leave, but we're just gonna loot this chest and then head out. Again, just for anyone who hasn't seen the previous videos, we know we're alone right now because no one is in our VoIP area, and it's a pretty small area left in the zone, in the side of the zone at this point. In the bottom left corner, there's normally a speaker icon if someone is within your VoIP area to, like, indicate that you can talk in game and someone will hear you. Unless they've removed this and I'm unaware of that. It's not showing at the moment, which means there's no one in range. It means there's probably no one left in the match unless there's like a warlock sat in the middle of the zone somewhere healing with Torch Mastery. Alright, let's head out. 180 gold from these various items that we're going to be selling. Along with, from the collector, an extra 66. Plus whatever we had in our gold coin purse. Pretty low gold run, but we did a bit of fighting. We had to use quite a lot of our meds, so we're going to need to stock up again. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. Alright, so we hit level 10. We've sorted out our inventory. We did actually end up using some of this gold down here somehow. I think it used this when I was buying the gold coin purses, but we have enough gold either way. We are now level 10, so we're going to be equipping our third perk. And this is where I think Rogue starts to get somewhat powerful, however... You still want to get your fourth perk because all of them are pretty big damage bonuses. As I say, there are a few options. It depends on how you want to play and your playstyle. Solid options are hand crossbow, lockpicking mastery, jokester, double jump, ambush, even back attack I think is quite good. Hide mastery could be okay. Trap detection is okay if you're kind of new at the game, but I wouldn't recommend this otherwise. Thrust is decent if you have a good dagger. Again, also dagger mastery, pretty good if you have a good dagger. But generally, if you're wanting something which is useful most of the time, I would take ambush or jokester. Or if you have a good hand crossbow as well, of course, take hand crossbow mastery. But lockpicking mastery also, if you're on budget kit's also a very solid option. Anyway, let's get in. We'll do one more run, and then we'll probably be ending the video as it's getting a bit long already. Okay, hey there guys, we're into our second Highroller Goblin Caves. Pretty good spawn, but also kind of annoying with the amount of mobs there are. Especially some of them are ranged, a bit annoying. There's Boulder Slinger and stuff over there that we'll have to deal with. Don't really have many tricks to deal with it. Probably just going to try and hide mastery and get in and use, oh, not hide mastery, just hide and use ambush and stuff to kill it real quick. Probably will get hit, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty awkward to dodge. The annoying thing is, when you're playing Rogue, it's kind of difficult to get a weapon which actually destroys these boxes. Because these things have like really solid loot in them in Highroller, but we can't really destroy them with the rapier or anything like that. Let's at least get that hit off, try and dodge its throw. Oh, battle axe. Blue battle axe. It's pretty good money, we'll take that. Ah, 2 Boulder Slingers together is a bloody nightmare. These things, I think these were the things that hit me, and even when I was like stealthed, it just hit me through stealth. I think maybe if they've already started winding up the attack, they just follow you even if you're stealthed. Ooh, almost got hit by that. Pretty annoying, but well, we will kill... Oh, well, we won't kill him. I guess we can use the Boulder Slinger to destroy stuff. Pretty good. Okay, luckily it dies quite fast. Warhammer, I still want to try that. The next video might be a cleric if people want to see a cleric. So I want to try out the new Warhammer. Apparently it attacks really fast, which means it will do well with the bonus flat damage from Smite, which is my preferred way of playing cleric. Also along with the, I believe it's called Divine Strike, the spell that gives you like an extra 5 weapon damage. Cleric really loves fast attacking weapons. These guys, Nightmare Goblins, the shielded ones, kind of weird. What they do block whilst they're like running. As soon as they get like within range of you, you can just kind of hit them through their shield. I don't know, it's a bit dodgy. It looks really weird, but anyway. Forgot to unequip this Castellan. Oh, sorry, this is a stiletto dagger, actually. Quite a nice attack pattern on the stiletto. I do actually quite like it. Little stabber. But you do want to be taking the dagger perks, I think, if you're running daggers, because quite a nice little bonus. 15% extra physical damage. You know, if you can get that up to extra 3 on a weapon that attacks so fast, it's quite a nice little bonus. Let's check in here. I know everyone hates it when I don't... when I forget to check in here. There's usually... I don't know. I thought it was always a skeleton crossbowman in here, but not this time by the look of it. I was thinking about dropping the white rapier there, because sometimes just having the weapon slot be open is more valuable. Oh my god, man, I wish we could use any of this. This would be great. Then we have so many different, like, rarities of bandage. Well, let's... okay, right. Do we want this? No, that... Oh, wow, that's a really good survival bow. That's actually crazy good. But it is also a survival bow, so... Oh my god, that's an insane battle axe as well. 6 physical power, 2 weapon damage. Right, well, let's drop that and pick up... we want the loot. Okay, yeah. A bit of inventory management, a bit awkward here. These throwing knives are grey. These are the ones that we started with. Oh, fine, I'll drop them. I was gonna say, generally I prefer to keep items that are useful to your class that you can use, especially throwables. You know what? +2 vigor, we will take this. I don't normally like this chest that much for rogue, because it slows you down by quite... Okay, I thought I heard someone for a second, but I think it was just me hearing things. It slows you down quite a bit, which makes your strength as rogue worse, right? Your speed is generally a strength. However, there is another way to look at it and say that your base speed allows you to actually use these things that slow you down more. You're never going to be as slow as like a plate fighter, right? But you're also never going to have the physical damage of a plate fighter, physical damage reduction. Not unless they like make gear even stronger and stuff, you know? Like maybe with like almost BIS stuff, you could probably get maybe 60% PDR. Which is insane, right? But that's like, you know, full gold gear, full BIS everything, armor rolls and everything, physical damage rolls and everything. Anyway, bit of a random tangent to go on. But we have a pretty huge amount of money on us at the moment. So while there hasn't really been much PvP in this video, I don't recommend starting rogues to PvP. Not if you're wanting to, like, progress your, like, character in your class and get, you know, stash upgrades, quests done, stuff like that. Granted, you do need to practice at some point, right? So you will eventually want to start PvPing just for the sake of it. Even if it might not be the wisest and I don't recommend it. Eventually you need to if you want to improve as a player, right? So... if you actually care for that. If you just want to make gold, you know, there's plenty of ways to make pretty good gold without actually fighting people. Whether that's just avoiding people on runes with double jump, or mining as a rogue, because a rogue has really fast interaction speed, right? Which means you mine faster than most other classes. I think Ranger is the only one that's, like, really comparable. Maybe Bard as well. Bard might be pretty comparable. There was actually a pick... Oh, no, there wasn't, no. I thought there was a pickaxe earlier that I didn't pick up, but it was actually that Warhammer. So our inventory's already pretty full, to be honest. So I'm not sure if we're going to be doing too much more looting. Wow, those are really nice boots as well. I'd like to take those. Let's drop that 1 grey bandage. Let's drop white pieces like that. Fine, that can go as well. You can move that, take that. So if you hear that, that's actually a warlock casting life drain on something. Either a mob or their own... Hydra. Let's go take a peek. Okay, so they're not in the room immediately next to us, they're actually in this one. So let's go take a peek. This is pretty risky, but... we're probably dead here, I'm not gonna lie. This guy is pretty geared. He's gonna be full HP, because I think we just want to leave. Because that guy is going to be full HP, he's going to heal up off of his Hydra, and we don't want to deal with that. That guy out-gears us. So I think what we're probably going to be doing is just leaving. That's the smart idea. If you notice how much damage I did to myself when I hit him, that's due to a Warlock perk called Dark Reflection. So while I would like to try and stay and fight him, it's such a bad matchup. Like, he was going to one-tap us. You saw he popped Blow of Corruption. If he hit us with that, even in the chest, we probably just die. If he headshots us, we absolutely die. So it's just not a wise idea. And I think the video is long enough, so thank you guys for watching. Let's get out of here. Unfortunately, I can't spectate him and actually see his gear. We got another 300 AP, but of course we have no entrance fee at the moment, so it's pretty easy to get decent amounts of AP. However, the way to beat Warlocks, if you do want to beat them, is when they cast, if they're running Torch Mastery, which maybe that guy wasn't because he's running Life Drain, which was a spell I heard through the wall. If they're running Torch Mastery and they cast Hydra, that takes off a big, huge chunk of their health anyway to cast that. It takes like 20 hit points from them straight away. So if they cast that twice, you want to get in their face and play aggro, because that is when they're going to be weakest. If you let them cast Life Drain, if you let them cast their double dots onto the Hydra, they will heal up if they're running Torture Mastery. And of course, they're always going to be full HP if you take the pressure off. So you have to keep the pressure up. But Rogue isn't very good at that. So I think we made the smart decision there. Now, it's unfortunate because this Battle Axe is really good, but it's still a Battle Axe at the end of the day. This is something that I should probably mention when we're talking about trade. Whilst this is an insane blue Battle Axe, this is probably nearly Biss, to be honest. It's still a Battle Axe, which generally suffers from being not a metal weapon. It has pretty lackluster attack patterns, and it's not insanely high in the DPS, and it doesn't have armor penetration or anything that makes the war more decent. But I think we will keep this just because it is so good. It might still sell for a few hundred. I'm not sure how the economy is at the moment. These are also really good adventurer boots, so we'll keep these. And this survival bow also is insane as well. If this was like physical damage, physical power, like on the Battle Axe, this would be a crazy good survival bow. It's still really good either way. But anyway, so we got 136 gold from the things we're going to sell there. We're going to keep those 3 items, as I mentioned. And from the collector, we got another 118 gold. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, guys. I'm going to go sort this inventory out, see what we've got. This was from scratch. We've ended up with some pretty decent items in our inventory. Some of the stuff we started with at the bottom, but this stuff that we started with is actually trash and way worse than some of the stuff we got from these runs. So you don't have to fight people to make money. That's all I want to say. In fact, on classes such as Rogue and Ranger, it can be beneficial to just not fight people and just get your loot, get yourself better as a player, make that gold so you don't worry about bringing out gear and losing it and having that gear fear, you know? Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, I'd appreciate likes. If you want to see more like this, I appreciate subscriptions massively. If you have any classes you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below. If people make suggestions about classes, I generally try to do them in the next few videos. Beginner guide coming soon, hopefully. TM on the way. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.